Are you a self-hosted on WordPress?
I do own my own domain. I do have my own site, and I just utilize WordPress's templates and their sourcing. And I actually really like it for making connections with other bloggers. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit.
I started with them in just a year or so after they formed in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was in code, HTML.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so if you wanted to insert an image or a break or a more or anything, you had to do it in the body of the HTML. And I looked at my webmaster and I said, are you kidding me? She says, yeah, if you want to be in control of your own website, you must first register a domain and go to WordPress and get the professional, the .com, WordPress, and then learn how to use it. So I did it.
And they've come a long way, even in the 5 years that I've used them.
They're all point and click now.
Oh, they're awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's hard to make a mistake now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check with them and ask them how I can hear them.
Okay, Barbara.
If I'm back, what's this in or called?
Okay, here we go.
There was some kind of ringtone, something that I had to access.
Okay, so I'm going to try to message with the see
Do
what's
what?
happening.
It's with the Osage County Library, or the library,
I'll ring center there.
blogging or something.
Okay. All right, we'll see if she can see the chat box.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. And sometimes it's just a matter of turning up the volume on the device. So now, Lisa, where are you joining us from?
Oh, Jefferson City.
Okay, very good. Good.
Hi.
Lisa, if you could point your camera down just a hair. There you go. Now I can see you.
Yeah.
I tried
You
those
can't
settings,
see
but
me?
couldn't I find anything in settings? Maybe an outside speaker plug into it. Maybe send it to that.
Where do we have a speaker?
Who is that?
Okay. There you are, Barbara.
Hey,
Barbara.
Hello.
What?
I guess I just got myself over.
Yeah, I can see you.
Can see you.
I can see the grandkids better though.
We love those guys.
Got my kids on there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Can you wait? Okay. Still working on it. That's okay.
Okay.
Now, Lisa, have you started your sites?
I have my domain and I
Okay.
got my hosting with Bluehost and I got my instructions on how to set up my, and I was on a pretty good track right before COVID struck, and then work went upside down, and so everything's been crazy like for everyone the last 4 months. And anyway, trying to get back on track with this.
Okay. And then what is your goal for your blog? Is it a travel blog? Is it a literary blog? What is your goal?
It's a mental wellness blog.
Yay. Okay.
And
I could use some of that.
yeah, so I've been writing snippets all over the years that I have in various places, and I just want to get it into this blog. And I've been making memes also, like inspirational memes.
Oh, yes. I
Right.
love it.
Go on there.
Very cool. All right. Now, Dick, what is the focus of your blog?
Well, I'm more or less retired from blogging right now.
Okay.
At one time I had, I don't know, 6 or 7 blogs that I was writing for. My goal back in 2005 was to try to make money with advertising. And I did, I would work 8 hours a day and come home and write for 12 hours. And I made a little, but I mean, it was, nothing like they say, make money overnight on the internet,
Yeah.
So, so after 10 years of it, I kind of gave it up. And the funny part about it was I learned so much with WordPress. I was able to form a company that was provided small businesses with social media applications to promote their business.
That's
A lot of
terrific.
the people back then, they had no idea. I mean, their
Internet
brother-in-law or
connection
their
is
sister's
unstable.
son or their somebody did it free, and they didn't know where their domain was. They didn't own it. Somebody else registered it. It's like, first of all, you need to take control of your own
Yes.
domain. Whoever you decide to go with, that's the first step.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I basically went out and showed
Where do I
small
put it?
businesses how to promote their company through social media on a blog. And most
That's
of them came
awesome.
back to me and said, "You do it for me. I can't do it."
Does that work with you still?
What's that?
Does that work for you still? If we say do this for us, we can't do it?
Well, I thought about, I've only been in Jefferson City for 3 months. I thought about joining the chamber and offering my services to small businesses who, for whatever reason, weren't up to snuff on their domain, website, blog, whatever. I mean, back in the day, if you said you had a YouTube channel, they're like, "Wow, really?"
Oh, shoot, no, I lost it.
Anyway, it's all changed. It's
Yeah.
I did.
all changed. How many people are we going to have join us? You might want to get started on your program.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Barbara says she can see us, but she still can't hear us. So I've sent her some ideas of how to get the volume going. So if it's okay, I do a very open-ended kind of preparation typically, where I share a little bit and then we either ask questions or bounce off some ideas, and hopefully typically that segues into the next thing that I have planned for us, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, and I mentioned it briefly in our session a couple weeks ago, and it is inspired by the great Dolly Parton, because she's one of my definite huge heroes in this world. And Dolly, one of her quotes that she's kind of known for saying is, "Sometimes you got to toot your own horn because nobody else is going to toot it for you." And a lot of that is so valuable when you talk about doing a blog or even just a website for yourself or your business. You have to be willing to toot your own horn, to be your own cheerleader, to be your own voice, and somebody who's going to say, "This is good stuff. You need to look at this." And part of that comes from taking pride in what you do, and also a willingness to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is kind of one of our next things that we're going to talk about tonight. But I wanted to give some ideas for how I toot my own horn for Intentergy, if that's okay. Is that cool?
Yes.
All right.
You betcha.
Number one, of course, I interact with other bloggers. They are the best advertisers out there. They'll be like, "Dude, I saw this site," or "Oh my gosh, I found this wonderful writer," or "The photography on this blog is amazing." And they will tell other people about it. So sharing it with people in your own genre, or even just people within the blogosphere, is a great way to get your name out there and to get it known and seen. Something else that of course, is kind of common sense, is social media. Through WordPress, I have my blog set up for LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, And I also have an Instagram page that I run. I don't have it linked through WordPress. WordPress doesn't have a connection to Instagram just yet, but I'm working on that. So just kind of doing that. And sometimes it's to my advantage because my posts will hit on WordPress, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And then like the next morning, I can reshare it on Instagram to hit a few more people that maybe didn't see it previously. One of my other favorite ways to toot my own horn is like I love to read, and like I always have a book in my bag. Like it doesn't matter where I am, there's a book with me. And if I see other people reading, I'll be like, hey, what are you reading? A Will Schwalbe like tip that I got when he came here to speak at the Missouri River Regional Library. Just an awesome fellow. And I'm like, what are you reading? And once we get talking, I'll say, you know, I love to write about what I read. And it's very true. And my bookmark in my book is always one of my business cards. It's always one of my Intentergy cards. And I'll be like, hey, if you are interested, or if like we just strike up a really great conversation, I'll be like, I want to hear more from you. And I'll give them my card and I'll put a note on it, on the back of it, where they met me. Hey, we met at the library, or hey, we met at Burger King, or hey, we were at the Runge Nature Center together, and I put that on the back. And that is another way to help people remember, oh man, I met that crazy lady at, you know, Burger King, and this is her blog. And a lot of times they'll check it out and they'll send me a message. It was great talking to you. So something as simple as keeping your card in your book that you carry with you, or if you have like the little case on your phone, slide your business card in your phone case, because most people have their phones with them most of the time. So those are a few ways that I toot my own horn. Another is I invite people from time to time to write a guest post on my blog. And what that does is it encourages people to invite others to check out, well, first of all, they're going to check out what they posted, of course, but then they check out what I've written. And it encourages others to either A, help me write, or B, you know, talk about what I've written or what I've shared. And it just makes it a much more interactive tooting of my own horn, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So what are some ways that, if you have a blog or a site, that you know that you would, should, or already do use to promote it?
Anybody chime in on that one?
Well, I think reading other people's blogs in the genre and commenting on them and linking back to your own, well, that's one thing that I plan on doing when I get rolling.
That's awesome. Yeah, at any time you can tap into the resources of other individuals who share kind of your genre is awesome, because one, you're broadening your perspective, and two, you're making connections, because people who seek out those sites may also be seeking out some very similar content on your site. That's awesome. Way to go, Lisa.
Back in the old days, I'm just so you know, I'm 71 years old.
Young,
and,
71 years young.
Yeah.
Okay. And back in the old days, the key to a successful blog was lots and lots and lots and lots of original content.
Yes.
Videos, images, and links, reciprocal links. That was the key to being indexed with Google, so that you would show up on, you know, page 27 instead of 100,049. I only managed to get on the first page of Google with one of my blogs in my lifetime, but it was an interesting experience.
What was the topic?
Well, it was horoscopes for golfers.
Go.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was kind of silly. But
That's awesome.
I had a lot of advertisers. I had people that were selling grip labels. You know, if you lose a club, you have a label on your club with your name, address, and phone number. I sold a lot of those. And a lot of, you know, little interesting golf things here and there. And I had affiliate links, golf Golf Galaxy, Golf Pride, a number of other affiliates that made me a little bit of money. But
See,
you know, it's just
I'm just really glad you mentioned the tag backs, the links, because that's kind of one of the things that's after we talk about, you know, tooting our own horn, and then talking about how to like, oh, sorry, how to get our content out there. I want to talk about, once you do that, what are the ways to keep people coming back? And hyperlinks and, you know, links to our previous content is definitely one of the best organizational tools for that.
yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, I had a webmaster that was, she showed me how to narrow, how to drill down on keywords, you know,
Yeah.
so I didn't have such a wide market that I was looking to promote to. You know, I used Google's keyword tool to find out, you know, how many searches a month were for various keywords. You know, besides learning how to use WordPress the whole time. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I did just quit my last blog here about, I guess about a year ago. So I was more or less up to speed on what WordPress was doing. They had a lot more templates, free ones,
Yeah, there's a lot.
and they had some good plugins, you know, stuff that just is automatic. You don't have to, I mean, just point and click. And then back in the day, I mean, I hate to keep saying that, but you know, I looked at that like it was rocket science. You know, I
No.
was intimidated. I really was, until I jumped into it with both feet. But I did manage to learn, and I did manage to take advantage of that education that I gave myself with helping other people, small business, promote their companies. And I used to crack me up when they say, "Oh, I don't know what to write about." Well, excuse me, you have 1,000 products you sell.
Yep, pick one a week.
Yeah.
Pick
Pick
one a week.
one. Yeah, pick one a day.
Oh yeah.
But of course, you know, everybody said, "I don't have time to do this." You know, I said, "Well, what do you do at the end of the day? You pay your bills, don't you? You look at your inventory. This is just another 15-minute task. Update your blog."
Absolutely.
But you know, it's easier to let somebody else do it for you
It is.
Now,
if you can
Brian,
find them.
Brian,
Yes.
I have a quick question for you, Brian.
Sure.
I know you've thought about blogging in the past for maybe for your writing or
Mhm.
things of that nature. Are you still toying with that idea?
Yeah, I'm getting caught up on my plays. So, yeah, I like I said before, I write for the library, and I have one of the free blogging sites, WordPress. But yeah, I think in a couple months I'll be ready to start my own blogging site.
That's terrific. Now, Barbara, I know you've looked at ideas in the past. What are you thinking? What are you juggling? What are you thinking about for a site?
Well, I don't know anything about it. So I totally don't, you know, I just thought I would join in to see what y'all had to say.
Well, you
And
do
it's
some
that-
amazing artwork, Barbara. You do some really cool stuff. I would love if you did a how-to artwork blog. It would make my year.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that would be sweet.
it would.
Yeah. I just, you know, have never had the time to even start or to think about it. And I don't know if I do now either, but just kind of combine my creativity and writing and I don't know, see where it goes.
That's the part a lot of people have a problem with, is the writing. But in blogging, you want to be short and sweet. If you look at other bloggers, you'll notice that they don't put a whole lot of words into their posts. You know, most people won't read past 3 paragraphs anyway. So yeah, keep it short and sweet, and you don't have to put down, you know, a 1,000-word essay in a blog.
It makes it a lot easier to manage time-wise as well if you keep shorter posts or shorter content. I typically have a goal of around 400 words for like my max in my posts. I know I've had a few that have gone over, of course, but I typically try to stay between like 300, 400 ideally. Sometimes it's 400, 500, but you're right. The shorter attention spans of folks does impact it a lot.
Yeah. So our book, like if I write a book review for the paper,
Mhm.
it's going to be 400 words. Because if it gets any longer, people just quit
Well,
reading.
book review, that's a great blog right there.
Oh, those
Yeah,
are
it is.
awesome. I love book review blogs.
Yeah,
I do too.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so we've talked a little bit about kind of our ideas maybe and ways that we could toot our horns, get our names out there, think about what we want. The next thing I want to talk about is vulnerability. A lot of people are like, ooh, I don't want to put my stuff out there. Ooh, what if people don't like it? Ooh, what if like they make fun of me, or what if they write mean stuff, or
Yeah.
Well,
Who cares? Who cares?
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I have had people, and I write a positivity blog. Like, that's what I do. I
You
take
do.
experiences from life and I try to show where the silver lining is, or at least where you can laugh after the mess.
Oh, I
is
bet you're
pretty
really
bad.
busy right about now.
And I've had people before say, oh my gosh, the stuff you write, you can't even believe that's real. And I'm like, I can't believe you're real right now.
Yeah.
So, I will say this with regards to privacy and being vulnerable. I do have 3 small kids. My kids are 11, 9, and 7. And I actually don't publish their names in my posts. I write about my children a lot, but I don't use their names. I'll usually just say my 9-year-old or my 7-year-old or my little sweetie or, my minion, whatever it is that I want to refer to them as in that post. But just for privacy's sake, I don't put that kind of stuff out there. I never put my husband's names in the post. He's always hubby. I always refer to him as hubby in the post. And then that way I'm not putting myself to maybe maybe dangerous situations with my kids, but I'm still sharing the information in that way. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. And also WordPress does a pretty good job of filtering out all those nasty comments.
They do. They do.
So it's not like it was before when you had reams of, you have 321 responses, contact. Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
it's all somebody wanting to
Spam.
sell shoes in Bangladesh or something,
Yeah, it was all spam. Now,
Yeah,
Lisa, with you writing about mental health, pseudonyms will probably be an important thing for you when you use examples. Have you kind of thought about that a little bit?
Well, it's kind of kept me from doing it for a lot of years. I went to a blogging conference just to get inspiration. There was one in St. Louis I stumbled on, and I threw that out there. What do you do when you don't want it to have your name on it? And they were just like, what? Why would you want that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was all about like Dick is sharing, monetizing your blog and that's.
well, you can put WordPress provides you with what? Correct me if I'm wrong, Melanie, but don't they provide you with a couple of email addresses that you can use, like anonymous?
Yes. Yeah, they sure do. They do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The name of my blog doesn't have my name in it and my domain, and I have an email that way. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do because I'm a lot more comfortable sharing personal stories than I was 10 years ago.
Well, on your about page, just say, hey, this is Lisa. I want to talk to you today or my blog is about this, and we talk about that, blah, blah. You don't have to say, your phone number or your address or anything, and nobody's going to care.
Yeah, and on that note, I told you I carry my little business cards. I do not have my phone number on my business card. I have my email, my Facebook, my Twitter, my blog, my domain is on here, but I only give my phone number to individuals that I feel comfortable sharing that with. I'll share my domain with anybody who'll listen, anybody who'll read, anybody who'll click. But
yeah.
As far as phone number stuff, I don't give that out typically.
Yeah. Do you think it's important to have your full name? Well, I guess most people do.
You can, and there is something that you can do, which I've done, is you can register as another name. I am registered under my blog, which is Intentergy. I do have that registered as my other, name. my full name is on my blog, and because everything I put on there is something that I want people to know about in their life, kind of thing. There, like I said, the only thing I do change in my stories from my own life are like my children's names, my husband, and like family members, and even my friends that I write about. I only use their first name and with their permission.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I just call it my chica or my amiga or my buddy or whoever and share the story.
Good.
So Lisa, are you saying you don't want your name on your blog? Or
Well, I feel it's important. I mean, just everything that I've learned about blogs, because you are your brand at some point, and it's important. But it's taken a long time to get comfortable with that, because I do plan on sharing some pretty personal experience. So I'm just working on it. I think I could start off a lot lighter and
Yeah.
see how comfortable I am, and go from there. But
Well, we live in the day and age of TMI, and I think if you do it tactfully, it's okay. I think
Yeah.
it's okay. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
My thought for you, Lisa, was if you're writing a story and maybe the person, if there's someone else who you're sharing their story about and you're not comfortable sharing their name or whatever, don't ever feel bad about pseudonyms. Just don't, that's okay.
Jane Doe or John Doe?
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, just don't make it during deer season.
Oh,
So another thing about vulnerability is I have had stuff where I've written and maybe I had an error or a mistake, and I've taught English for English composition, public speaking, and grammar for over 15 years. And when someone points out a grammar error or a punctuation error in my blog posts, man, that's a tough pill to swallow. However, I just remind them of one huge, huge fact, and that's that I'm human.
Right.
And I go back and I fix it, and I thank them. I always thank them for pointing it out, and then I forgive myself and I move on. And that's something that we have to be prepared to do when we put our work out there.
Right. Good.
yeah, even when I put a silly post on Facebook, I go back and read it 3 or 4 times just to make sure I didn't leave anything out, because I know how disturbing it is when I see some idiot that doesn't know how to spell when they have spell check available to them. And now they'll even write whole sentences for you. Whatever that program is called, I can't remember. But yeah, it's proofreading is a pain in the butt, but
if you see your own errors, though.
Yeah.
I have a hard time.
That's right. Sometimes you go so fast, you just completely miss it.
I also am really good at, I also have a rule. I will never publish anything till I've read it out loud to myself.
Yeah.
When you read it out loud, you find your mistakes. And so most of my blog posts, like I said, are about 400 words. It takes me about 2 minutes to read one out loud to myself, and I will find my mistakes a lot quicker. And you just have to not be ashamed to hear your own words out loud. And that's part of the whole vulnerability.
In addition to that, I do drafts and then I read them the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I go,
sleep on it.
How could I write that? And then sometimes
Sleep
it's
on
okay,
it, yeah.
and I publish it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Brian, what are your thoughts as a writer about I know you do a lot with regards to the library, but they just did your play. You just acted your actual play that you wrote.
Right.
Like how does that make you feel as a writer to put it out there blog style?
Yeah, I love it. I think it feels great. Just about what we were talking about a second ago, my brain goes really fast. So I'll write something. I have to have other people edit my work because I'll leave out words. I'll leave out words. So I have other people edit my work. And even when I read it, I don't catch it.
Mhm.
So So I do have other people edit, but yeah, it feels really good when other people can read your stuff. Or even if they don't read it, just seeing it out there.
Does a play read like a screenplay?
Yes.
So you would put the actual screenplay on your blog.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Just
I
make
wonder
sure it's copyrighted. Yeah, but yes.
Yeah. I guess that's really no other way to tell the story of a play without doing that, huh?
Right. But it's great. I mean, even on my free blog, I put book reviews that I've written and stuff. So it's like my own personal diary.
So what are you waiting for, Brian? Why don't you register your domain and get yourself out there? Nobody's seeing you with that free blog.
I think,
Sorry.
hey, Brian, I think you
Yes.
just double dog dared you. Double dog dared Brian to get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be out there. It'll be out
Yeah.
there.
Well, it's $10 to register and $125 for WordPress Professional. So there you go.
There you
That's
go.
a per year cost. You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Isn't that right, Melanie?
It is, yes. Yep.
The best.
And
they do the
often-
hosting too.
Well, they oftentimes send like, I don't know, a month or so before you're supposed to renew, they'll send you like a 20% off email or something like that.
Yeah,
I took
yeah.
advantage of that, I know, at least the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it
That's
makes
great.
a difference.
They never did that for me. But that's
Yeah,
great.
It's in the email. I got a few emails. So,
I had like 5 or 6 of them going.
Wow. I understand, like when I did my classroom website, my blog, those 2 sites on top of, well, everything else, it was a lot to manage. So.
Yeah, well, I did the things that were closest to me in my work, which was golf, travel, Marines, and pets, So, and I worked in a hotel, so I did a hotel blog. And so
That's awesome.
I just had to just keep pounding the keyboard, thinking that the more original content that I loaded, the more I would be indexed and seen, and so people would click on my advertisers. And,
Absolutely.
unless you can afford to buy, what do they call those, word clicks?
Yeah.
Pay-per-click?
Yeah, pay-per-click.
Unless you want to buy pay-per-click, which is god-awful expensive,
Yeah.
then nobody's ever going to see you on the front page. I don't care if you're writing 20 hours a day for the 20 years. They're never going to see it. So, yeah, in order to be ranked organically, yeah, you have to have started a long time ago and be real Google friendly.
Well, and I think a lot of what getting started in blogging now about it is kind of setting small goals for yourself, and that's with anything. Having ideas of what you want to see and what you want to do. Now, Barbara, you had mentioned you weren't so sure about time, and that's something I've had to learn to balance and forgive myself for a lot. Is when I first started my blog, I wrote 7 days a week. I posted something. I didn't care what it was. One post was about, I said, write like your hair is on fire. I just want to get something out there tonight, folks. And if you're feeling pressure like I am right now, I just want to let you know this post is all about my need to reach out to you all. Love you. And that was my post. I was writing like my hair was on fire because I just wanted to get something out there. And yes, it's awesome to maintain, posting frequency and stuff like that. But we also have to, especially as beginning bloggers or just growing bloggers, we have to, give ourselves some leniency if we don't necessarily make all of our personal deadlines. But the goal is to set those personal deadlines. And organization is kind of our last topic for the night. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, a lot of the times I will start, I probably have 90 posts drafted right now. I'll start, I'll get this great idea. I'll be driving down the road and I'll be like, Maggie, tell my phone to text me, circus ring along the road or whatever it is I see and I want to write about it. And I'll have my daughter text it to me so I think of it later. And I'll start this post. And a lot of them will sit there in my queue, and sometimes they'll be just right, and I can schedule it into my month. Now I try to publish Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've been a little bit of a slacker lately because, as you guys know, the world's been turned upside down, and that's okay. Been trying to get it out there as I can, though. But really great things. Wix, WordPress, and the Google Sites like options give you the opportunity to schedule your posts. So if you write something that you know is absolutely perfect for Halloween and you don't want it to come out until October like 30th, so it's there 30th, 31st, schedule it, write it, put it in there, and you can even come back if you think of something you want to change into it. But I have a monthly calendar that I jot down what I want to post on those days. Like if I want my monthly positivity post to come out close to the beginning of the month, I always do a wise words Wednesday. And if there's like a quote or something that I heard recently that I know I want to use, I'll put like John Wayne quote on one of those Wednesdays because that's the quote I know I want to use for one of my wise words Wednesdays. And just having that calendar to sketch out my plans tells me, hey, you've got a deadline and you've got this idea for this post and that's when you want to get it out. And that really helps. And as Dick mentioned earlier, knowing which keywords are getting a lot of hits at that time, it kind of helps you know what kind of posts you want to put out if that's what you're looking for, is getting greater clicks, greater awareness for people out there Googling search words. So if you can just get yourself one of those free calendars from, anywhere, and even just if you circle the days you want posts to go out and put an X on them as you make it happen, that's a little victory dance right there because you've planned it and you've got something out there. Organizing it is key to just knowing.
What would you recommend to have on the site before publishing? Like 4 or 5 posts already?
I think an inaugural post is awesome. My first post was welcome to the World Wide Web in Tentergy, because Tentergy is my site. And I'm like, hey, and I had to go back and say this was a mistake because it was. I was just playing with it. And the way WordPress used to be set up, the preview and the publish button were right next to each other. And if you hit it, it was live. And that's how I went live. I hit the wrong button. And it worked out. It was okay. I could have deleted it if I wanted, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could have edited it if you wanted.
I could have edited it, but I didn't. I thought, you know what, Lord, here it is.
Sometimes that's the best way.
Lisa, when you start your blog, you want to have, I think, 2 key things. One, you do want to have an opening post, an opening story of some sort that gives your potential audience an idea of what the blog is about. And 2, having an about me gives you credibility as to who you are and why the heck you're putting something out there for people to read. I think those are probably the 2 key things when you start your blog that you need. A positive or a insightful opening post and an about page, if nothing else. And a contact me, if you want. So does that help?
Maybe a few more in the queue so that you know that the ball's going to be rolling.
Yeah. Oh, I had a notebook full of posts before I started. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome.
I just have to figure out how to build the thing. So how did you
That's
all
what templates are for.
The templates are good, but I think what you just have to do, Lisa, especially when you start to look at that notebook, is say, okay, which of these feel right? What sequence of these stories feels right? Mm-hmm. And go ahead and put them in there, schedule them, and if it doesn't go right, just change the schedule. Mm-hmm. Or you could talk to your good friend Melanie at Intentergy.com, that's me, and say, hey, I want to put a guest post out there. And I'll be like, okay. And then we'll tell them that your post is starting, your blog is starting. And then you'll have my 1,300 daily viewers seeing your post, and then they can go to your blog. Yay!
Great idea.
Oh, that's an open invitation right there, sister.
Yeah, Don't ignore that one.
Yeah, you should do
Yeah.
that.
She gives you a leg up right off the bat.
And I'm already going to double dog dare Barbara to do a how-to post with me, and it's going to be awesome. I know where you live, Barbara. You can't hide from me.
I know. I know.
Do you teach classes, Barbara?
Well, I've taught art at Loose Creek,
Oh.
Oh, wow.
K through fourth grade. Yeah. And I love to write poetry and
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
And she's illustrated a book. Or she's
Well, I've
written a
written a book. I haven't illustrated
She's
it.
written a book.
Oh,
Ashton
wow.
helped illustrate. Yeah.
So
Great.
And we
I
can
told
tell
my
her book.
family the other day I have many talents. The only one that I have to work on is to make a long story short.
That should be
Yeah.
your opening post. That should be your
There
opening
you
blog
go.
post, Barbara, to make a long story short and then tell the story.
So anyway,
I love
yep.
it.
Will this group ever be able to meet in person?
Well, I've done in-person blog talks both at the Jefferson City Library and the Osage County, and I really want to get back to it. I really love doing the blog talks in person. I feel like it's just a really great way to ask questions and build knowledge and of course, you know, make connections. We need to make that happen. So,
Yeah, it won't be till next year.
yeah.
They've already canceled things that we can do with programming at the library, so.
Now, Lisa, we do have a September session coming up, and I'm kind of excited. I'm going to be picking up some stuff to show people and some plans to do some screen sharing between my blog and the talk for the September one as well, if you're
nice.
interested. So, and
I need to
hopefully,
make a new launch schedule and try to wade through my manual and figure this out.
so with using that, do they have templates? Like what options do they give you for setting up your site?
Well, I went to it and then there was just a series of questions, but it was all Greek about what's your theme and what's your this and what's your that. And I had nothing to relate to what they were talking about, but reading through that manual, I'm kind of understanding a little more. So
Okay.
when I go back to it, it might seem simpler, I guess.
So what manual are you talking about?
It's this, where did I say? Oh, a user's guide to WordPress that I got from Bluehost, and it just talks about what all the terminology is and what your selection choices are and how to go about setting up what your website's gonna look like.
Okay.
Well,
So who are you going to use to set up your blog?
Well, I'm trying to just do it on my own, but
using WordPress, right? You're using WordPress,
yeah,
though.
WordPress.
Yes.
And mhm.
Well, if you're using WordPress, why would Bluehost be in the picture? I'm just curious.
I don't know. They just had tools, and they sell tutoring and things like that.
WordPress has so many tutorials themselves. You can do anything. Isn't that right, Melanie?
Absolutely. Oh, I love WordPress's tutorials. And that little help button at the bottom of the screen, I've chatted with them multiple times for my site and other sites I've helped people build. They're
Throw
so
that
fast.
manual away.
Okay.
Or just keep it for reference later. Just keep it, put your little Post-it notes where you need it.
Go to WordPress and go
Ah.
through their tutorials, and they'll tell you everything you need to know.
Let me
And if you,
pull
what's
up my
Bluehost?
WordPress.
What does
Here.
Bluehost charge nowadays? $5.99 a month or something like that?
It wasn't too bad. I went ahead and got 2 years of my domain and 2 years of the hosting, and I don't think it was too bad.
Did you buy your domain through
Okay.
Bluehost?
I bought it through GoDaddy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You want to
and-
hear
and-
some?
GoDaddy, I mean, they have, I guess Bluehost is their tutorial sponsor typically, but, and I think that you probably, if they had it in a deal package, you probably got a pretty good deal. But anytime you want to use WordPress as how-to, or I'd be happy to give you my contact information. I've used them to help a number of people build their sites. Like I have some friends in Herman who have a bed and breakfast, and I made their site for them, and they're linked through Airbnb now. I just had to link them. I just had to help them get it linked after I made the site. Some friends who have like a therapy dog center where they train therapy dogs. I help them make their site to help match dogs to.
See, that's what I used to do for pay. You're doing it for free, right?
No, I do charge, but I don't make a living at it.
Probably not very much.
No.
For all the time it takes. Now, do you feel comfortable with them carrying forward with WordPress? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you showed them enough to where they can go in there and navigate around and post and make changes, add images, video, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so much easier than it was ever.
Oh, they're terrific. They have a new interface now, like you can use for creating sites. I'm not crazy about it, but they let you keep the classic if you want, so I just keep the classic. But I'm going to screen share briefly with my, we have just a few minutes here. I'm going to briefly screen share with my WordPress site just to show you the coolest thing about asking them for help. Let's see here. Get my screen sharing going on here.
And you can actually get them on the phone too if you want.
Yeah, they will do chat with you. Let's see here. Speaker view. Trying to get my screen share. Look at me, I'm all talented. We're gonna try here. There it is. Okay, WordPress. Maybe. Okay, here we go. All right. So what you guys are looking at right now is my WordPress, my posts.
I like all those nice headers.
Huh?
I like all the nice headlines. It looks very readable.
Oh, this is just when I log into WordPress what I see. So you can see that I've published 482 posts since I started the blog. I've got 85 drafts in the hopper and 4 that I was like, those are no good. So I trashed them. And I can empty my trash later. But if I have any questions, right here in the bottom corner is this little question dude. And when it pops up, holy smokes, it is so handy because you can just click on any of the links here, like build your website in 5 steps, landing pages, about blog posts, or I can type in whatever my question is, like how do I add images? And it will give you all of this support, all these articles on it, or I can contact them and I can ask away. And I type what my question is, I hit chat, and within like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, I typically see their little 3 dots moving that they're responding. So.
And if you ask them how to insert an image, you're just going to hear a big sigh.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a terrible question. Yeah. So like if your question is like, how do what if I have, I'm trying to think of an example of a time that I had to.
How do I swap links with another blog?
Yeah, or how do I do approved ping backs from other blogs, and then they can give you some insight. They're terrific. They're absolutely terrific. So if you have any questions about that, you can do that. And then while I'm in here, I can show you briefly, like if I wanted, I don't have any posts currently scheduled. I'm working on one that's going out tomorrow. It's in my drafts. But if you just have a post that you would like to put out there, you just create your post, whatever your post is, whatever your post is, and then.
And watch out for your bold.
Yeah.
Don't use the bold unless you really want to.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Is it right now? I don't think it's bold. No.
In the header, it's fine. And also the subheader is fine too.
Yeah, nope. I did that. So I was like, whoa, did I turn it on? So when you hit the publish up here, you don't have to. You can just put it like, if I want to do it on the 31st of August, I just click that and what time I want it to publish, and it can go out. So like Lisa, like you're feeling like, okay, I'm trying to build up here. I'm trying to build up here. If you know you've got 3 or 4 things you want to get out there, go ahead and put them in there, schedule them. And then it's like multiple Band-Aids have been ripped off. And you're like, oh, my blog is going. It's a moving, you know, and you
Yeah,
guys
once you
cancel
make
them.
those first few posts, that's you get over the hurdle there.
Yeah. So.
Well, I appreciate the encouragement. I'm probably making it seem harder than it is.
No worries. No worries.
Well, I don't know. You may have gotten a little sidetracked by that Bluehost manual. I don't know. That thing is, I don't know if I could read that.
At least, I mean, you have it as a resource that you can tap into at any time right there. So that's kind of handy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay, so when you're getting started, don't be afraid to talk to people about your blog. Don't be afraid to put it on Facebook. People probably get so sick of me. Like there's a lot of days that I don't share about my kids, but I share about my blog, you know, kind of thing. Anybody will talk to me at the grocery store, you know, the restaurant, the library, anybody will talk to me.
How many subscribers do you have?
I have about 1,300 daily subscribers right now.
Well, that's nice.
And
Yeah.
how did you grow your following? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
They must appreciate that you post as much as you do then.
Well, about 3 times a week. I like to post about 3 times a week now. I haven't been as diligent, but when I do, the love that I get back and the support I get back is phenomenal. How did I build my growership? Well, a lot of it were my students. They thought I had funny stuff to say in the classroom or something to say, so they would follow, and then their parents started following. And then some of it was I personally invited people to follow my blog. I said, listen, I'm going through, you know, this process right now. It's something I feel strongly about, and I'd really like you to be a part of my process. Please follow my blog. All you gotta do is hit the little follow button, put your email in there, and whenever I write something new, it pops up in your inbox. And man, if you had time to read it, that'd be great. If you don't, get to it when you can, and I just appreciate you for following me. And most people are like, okay, show me how, and they get their phone out and I help them right there on their phone. And
yeah, and then if you want to go above and beyond, you can make a relevant comment. Those are very valuable to your blog as well.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. You know,
not just gee, I really like what you wrote.
Yep. You know? Put stuff out there.
Yeah.
Especially with other bloggers. I probably have, I don't know, 200 or 300 other like bloggers, writers that follow me. And a lot of it's because I've either A, followed their blog and written comments on their blog, or B, I've written a book review or shared something about their book. And have just made connections that way. I've been fortunate enough too, the library has allowed me to speak a few times on blogging, and I've made some followers that way. And I've spoken at a couple of schools now, and I'm actually working on booking, once this whole coronavirus thing slows down, I've got a few people that are asking me to actually maybe do some Zoom professional development with regards to team building and positivity. You're just trying to keep our chins up through everything right now. But then I will get back to in-person intensive detox in the future. And that's kind of also one of my personal goals.
Wonderful. That's great.
Thanks.
You do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I
You look to be young too.
Oh, well, I just had another anniversary of my birth, so I'm feeling super young, and we're just awesome.
Got one coming up I'm dreading.
Oh, no worries. So yeah, just be willing to get out there and talk about it. There's nothing wrong with talking about what you create and what you put out there. There's nothing wrong with it. You should totally Dolly Parton it up all the time. Toot your own horn. That's okay.
I didn't know that was her quote. That's pretty cool because I use that too.
Sometimes you got to toot your own horn. Yeah, that's right. And then also vulnerability. Yes, not everybody's going to love everything that we do. And yes, it is scary to put our personal selves out there. There are ways to do it that can allow you to still have comfort and have a meaningful message. Also, try to keep yourself organized, or at least set goals for yourself. Have a little calendar, have a planner, have reminders in your phone if that's what you need. Say, hey, do you have a deadline tomorrow? whatever it is that to motivate you to keep those things going. And I have some really great friends who'll call me and be like, are you okay? And I'll be like, yeah, why? And they're like, you didn't write anything this week. And I'll be like, oh, yay! So, you know, you've reached out. So other questions or comments or anything that you guys have at this time?
So eventually do we want to try to form a group that meets on a regular basis?
That would be amazing.
Blogging.
I would love that.
I'm kind of here under false pretenses because I'm like a retired blogger. I'm too lazy to do all that writing now.
Start a new one, Dick.
I'd have to be really passionate about something to, you know.
There's probably something.
And there's nothing right now that I can think of that would, I mean, other than my cats, but.
Cats work.
People love cats online. They're nutty about cats online.
Oh, I know. But geez, how much of cats can you take? A whole blog about them? Gee.
All you gotta do is give. All you gotta do is give in that situation. Don't take it, just give. Here's my cats.
Yeah.
How about aging well?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'd be a good candidate for that either. I'm a disabled vet from the Vietnam War, so, you know, I used to blog about Marines and Marine families and disabled vets and the VFW and all that, but nobody really, I don't know, I just
That's
kind of
impressive. I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
I just kind of lost interest because I just felt that, you know, it just was another vet that was, you know, oh, woe was me, you know, kind of thing. So I stopped.
Well, Dick, thank you for your service. And I think anytime that you share that message, there's a lot of folks out there who probably have felt those same things or thought those same things, and you probably connected with them more than you know.
Right. I'm sure there's a lot of interest in an aging vet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, what I can't understand, and this is kind of an aside, but I went through Marine Corps boot camp in 1968. In 1969, I went to Vietnam. Now, one of the guys I was in boot camp with, one of the very few that I have managed to find, he did a search for all the guys in our boot camp, in our platoon, on the Vietnam Wall to see if any of our platoon had perished in Vietnam. Not one of us died in Vietnam.
Wow.
Which in 1968, that was a heck of an accomplishment.
Right.
But on the other hand, am I the only one on Facebook? I can't find any of them. I mean, with all the social media and all the, I mean, Together We Served, Leatherneck.com, Facebook, all these military, you know, it's like, where are these guys? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that would be a worthwhile adventure in itself to try to seek that out.
I know, I have tried, believe me.
Wow, that's crazy.
I have gone to great lengths and just to no avail. And I still do it. There's several groups on Facebook that I belong to: Vietnam veterans, Vietnam combat veterans, and just basic training memories, because we did some funny things when we were young Marines. And, you know, I contribute to those regularly with posts, you know, about funny stories that happened in boot camp or later on in, you know, whatever. And I get, you know, likes and this and that, and I get other comments. But as far as finding people, it just amazes me. I mean, they're all my age. I mean, probably half of them are perished or passed away by now because of the attrition. But still, there should be, you know.
Yeah.
I did actually connect with one guy that I was in Vietnam with, and he sent me a audio file of us singing White Christmas in Vietnam Christmas in 1969.
Oh, wow.
And it was so terrible. It sounded like karaoke on Wednesday night, you know. And we were all just so into it. We were trying to be good, and it just was horrible.
That's awesome.
So anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Dick, I need to get with you. We need to do a post or do something together on that. I think that would be a really worthwhile venture that I would love to be a part of.
Well, you're more than welcome to write it. I'll just contribute whatever you need.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, tell you what, guys, our next scheduled Bloggers Belong is in September. It is
21st.
Monday, September 21st. Yeah. So put that on your calendars. Monday, September 21st, 6:30 to 7:30, and they will have on the Missouri River Regional Library website the link to join again.
Yeah, just sign up and I'll send you a link like I did today.
Yeah. And so,
Were we supposed to have 12 people?
Thanks for hosting, Melanie.
oh, you're welcome. Yay.
Yes,
Hey.
thank you.
But if anybody is interested, like I am heart attack serious. If anybody ever wants to work together on a post with me, please, please, please do. You can always contact me at Intentergy is my blog.
.com or
It's Intentergy.com. It's the word intent and energy. It's Intentergy.
awesome.
And I'm on Facebook, and it's probably backwards. So, but contact me. Here, I'll put it on here. There we go. There's my blog, and my email is intentergynow@gmail.com. Intentergynow@gmail. Okay, there we go. But it's the word intent with energy, Intentergy. I'm trying to get it put into the dictionary. It's like on my bucket list. I'm gonna get it in the dictionary. And but I would love to work with all of you, and I'm grateful for the time that you spent this evening. So
Well, we're very happy to meet
Nice to meet you.
everybody here. Hope to
Yeah.
see you all in person someday when all this nonsense is passed.
absolutely.
Yep.
And I'll see you on the 21st.
Yay! Awesome.
All right.
This sounds great.
Hey,
All right.
Thank you, Dick.
guys.
Thank
All
you.
right.
I'll have a camera too. I can scare all of you with my image.
I
Okay,
don't hear
that
easily,
works.
so you're all right.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Thanks,
All right, bye-bye.
guys.
All right. Bye.